right? We've got one more to do before the break, and I'm looking forward to my coffee. So let's get on with it. So we are going to be listening about Vior. This is a smaller company than the previous ones. This is an $18 million company, trades at VIO on the Ventures Exchange, or VL5 over here in Frankfurt. Flagship project, also in Quebec, and also looking for gold, but also silver, if I'm not mistaken. And Mark over here, their CEO, is going to tell us more about that. Thank you for being here, Mark.
Just so this back and forth. Okay. Can everybody hear me okay? Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to share with you today, I think, a pretty exciting story developing at Vior. I'll caution you, there will be a few forward-looking statements in this presentation. Just a brief overview about Vior, our corporate profile. Our strategy is effectively exposure to multiple high-potential precious metals and strategic metals discoveries. Safe jurisdictions. At the moment, we're advancing 3 projects, 1 gold, 1 lithium, 1 nickel project with a partner, all in Quebec. Expertise, we've got a highly committed management team, 100+ years experience, excellent technical team as well. We've got skin in the game. Management owns approximately 14% of the company. There's no cheap paper. It was all bought over the last several years, either in the market or via private placements. Support, we've got strong financial and technical partners. Osisko Mining is a strategic investor in our company. They just increased their position at the end of March to 13.6%. I wouldn't be surprised if that goes up again on a future financing round. SOCAM is a partner. We just did an option agreement on our nickel project with them, so we're using other people's money to advance the nickel. The other institutions are Quebec-based financial institutions, and we've got a relationship with Ridgeline Minerals, who's presenting tomorrow at 2:15. Chad Peters, their CEO, is a technical advisor in our company. Diversification, we both explore. We're advancing companies 100% on our own to basically build value, and we're also investing as well. So just briefly, a little bit about the people, which is very important. Nimble 5-member board. 2 of the individuals are founders of companies. Claude Saint-Jacques is the chairman. He was also the founder of Virginia Gold Mines. Eric Desaulniers, founder of very successful Nouveau Monde Graphite in Quebec. Charles Olivier, he's the CFO of Nouveau Monde Graphite. And my executive VP, Laurent Eustache, he is an economic geologist by training, but he was also an analyst and a portfolio manager at Sidex in Montreal. We have an excellent technical team. Their names are not up there, but 3 full-time geologists, all with 15 to 28 years experience. All of them were part of a discovery team at one point in their career. Technical advisors are Chad Peters and Mark Leder, our former VPX. A little bit about the numbers. Working capital, about $4.82 million. We recently completed at the end of March a $2.5 million charity flow-through. The end buyer, 80% of the end buyer was Osisko Mining, and the other 20% was 4 individual high net worth individuals. Market cap is approximately $18 million at the moment. So major shareholders, Osisko Mining, management, Quebec institutions, there'd be 4 of them, and close strategic holders would encompass about 12 to 15 high net worth individuals and a couple family offices. We've got a strict project generation criteria. Perhaps you can look at it on the web. Disciplined focus. As you're well aware, as a junior exploration company, we have a limited amount of capital and we have a limited amount of human resources. We're trying to maximize what we're working with. So on the operational side, all of our capital is being allocated to Quebec 100%, and 1 or 2 projects in particular, Belterre Gold and Belterre Lithium. The lithium came about earlier on in the year when one of our geologists identified an 80-kilometer pegmatite-bearing corridor right on our doorstep at the gold project. We have Sayona Mining, a large Australian producer in Quebec of lithium. We're part of their Abitibi lithium hub. So they have a deposit just north of us. There's a great opportunity if we have success this year on the lithium side. We could provide feed for them at their mill that just went into production about a year ago. The objective here is we're accelerating exploration on the lithium the next few months. If we have lithium-bearing pegmatites on the property, we'll be drilling in the fall, or we'll look at an aggressive partner to do it for us. We believe that our lithium project could potentially fund our gold project. Partnership with SOCAM, we have a nickel project called Skyfall. It was identified out of accident last summer. We were given some geochemical results. One of my geologists who worked at the Raglan mine, owned by Glencore up in northern Quebec, identified a huge ultramafic sequence, and we've been approached by a number of companies to option it. We chose SOCAM, which is an arm of the Quebec government. They're going to be spending $2.5 million over 2 years. They'll probably spend it in the next 12 to 15 months. A little bit about our diversification, portfolio projects. We have some other gold projects. We can only do so much at one time. We'll look to option, sell, or JV them in the bull market. And we have our passive strategy. We own about 4% of Ridgeline Minerals. It was acquired 3.5 to 4 years ago in the very early seed rounds when it was a private company. We haven't sold a share thus far. That's a location of our projects in Quebec. The bulk of them are in the Abitibi belt. I'll skip that. So Belterre Gold, what we've done about 2 years ago, my partner and I, we consolidated the past producing high-grade Belterre gold mine and gold camp. We encompassed about 10 deals, some outright purchases of claims, some option agreements. We have an option to purchase 100% of the old Belterre mine, and pretty exciting times. High potential gold project, lower risk exploration opportunity, and proven value creation strategy. We're trying to replicate what some other successes have just done in Quebec and Ontario. The Malartic mine, which was owned by Osisko, similar type situation. They had a small, high-grade producing mine, and eventually they proved over 10 million ounces. The Detour mine, owned by Detour Gold, and the Lamaque mine in Val-d'Or, owned by Integra. So strengths and opportunities, excellent location. We're situated just south of Val-d'Or and Rouyn-Noranda in an underexplored greenstone belt called the Belterre Greenstone Belt. Proven mining belt. It produced over 800,000 ounces a year, or 800,000 ounces total, excuse me, at 10.7 grams per ton. There's up to 20 known high-grade gold veins. It's the first ever consolidation of the Belterre Belt. It's a big playground. We have 572 kilometers squared of terrain to explore. There is a brownfield component, which I'll go through in a minute. So we control about 80% of the belt right now. Underexplored, it has multi-deposit potential. There's been limited exploration done at depth, probably less than 8,000 meters historically. Competitive advantage, high-grade gold mineralization, which I'll show you in a minute. Low-cost exploration, low threshold for economic potential. Easy access, we can drill year-round. We're not up in James Bay. And excellent infrastructure nearby. So this is an illustration of the gold distribution footprint at surface at Belterre. You'll notice there's up to 75 grams per ton rock chip samples. It's all outcrop or boulders. But you can see it's well distributed all through the brownstone area of the project. We've identified a number of new structures. We've identified a new contact zone that prior was sort of the boundary of two projects. As everyone knows, boundaries tend to be underexplored. You don't want your neighbors to know that you've hit the mother lode right at your doorstep. A little bit about our strategy. We're trying to replicate what some of the other historic high-grade mining camps have done. There's been very little drilling at depth. We did a small campaign about a year and a half ago, a little over about 4,000 meters. What we recognize going deeper, the zones get wider, and there's excellent opportunity to build ounces. This is an example. We drilled a step out about 350 meters. We encountered 8 meters of 1.6 grams. We haven't hit the big grades yet, but we're basically touching the surface. But we got wider widths, 18.5 meters, and so on. So what we have to do now is vector in on some of the chutes and some of the higher grade zones. So what we've spent the last year doing is a global data compilation. We digitalized all the historical material that was on paper, incorporated our new structural model, the new structures that we recognize, some of our surface findings, and some of the geochemical work that we've done. So that's the before picture. What the after picture shows is a lot of new structures, a lot of new domains, and we're just getting started here. So just plan of attack right now. We've got field crews on the ground as we speak, 2 teams. What we're trying to do is finalize targets for a 30,000 meter drill program that we'd like to begin this fall. It's bigger, it's go big or go home. It's a little bit like the Osisko mining philosophy. You have to put meters in the ground to make a discovery. So in red is the historic mine trend, about 12 kilometers long. That's where the old Belter mine is and some other deposits. We have about 10 to 15,000 meters of targets already identified. We're going to vector in on where we want to drill exactly. In gold, there's some excellent surface results. What we're doing this spring and this summer is some more sampling. We're going to be doing some stripping and some channel sampling. And depending on results, we'll accumulate some meters of drilling there as well. In the green, it's structural intersection validation. We have boots on the ground looking for some more sampling. We've identified a number of intrusives that could be the host or could be the source of the gold mineralization that was there. This is a little bit more brownfield. It's to the north of the historic mine trend in the brownfield area. We're going to have a couple teams on the ground later this summer looking at the structural intersection and some geochemical validation that we already had. And we had some excellent results from some till anomalies. Belter lithium quickly. We have another district scale lithium potential, similar geology and proximal to an advanced lithium project, being the Tansim project, which I'll show you in a minute. Excellent location and year-round access. So what you see here is to the bottom is our Belter Gold project in dark black, and all in blue going up to probably 3/4 of the way up is what we own and what we've identified as a pegmatite-bearing corridor. Sayona Mining has a project to the north. There's no official 43-101 resource, but on their website they have an estimate of anywhere from 5 to 25 million tons at a little over 1% lithium. We are part of the Sayona Lithium hub in the Abitibi. You'll see the Belter project to the south. We've already had some initial discussions with Sayona. We're within trucking distance. They've done the sensitivity analysis. It's profitable to truck to their mine. Skyfall Nickel project. We recently signed a definitive option agreement with SOCAM that allows SOCAM to spend $2.5 million over 2 years to earn in 50% interest. And at that time, we'll form a 50-50 joint venture. This is early greenfield project, but a lot of potential. Skyfall project, well situated, another large district scale project, 515 kilometers squared, excellent access, infrastructure nearby, providing a competitive advantage for lower cost exploration. So here's what we identified just by hazard. So there's a early recon of a huge mafic, ultramafic sequence. What we have is a clear geophysical signature and a very clear geochemical signature, which is what you're looking for to have when you're exploring for nickel. So a little bit about the opportunity. Solid foundation, low-cost corporate structure, large inside share ownership, exposure to multiple high-potential projects in safe jurisdictions, proven strategy. We've significant discovery potential either at Belterre Gold, Belterre Nickel, or at Skyfall Nickel. We've got Osisko Mining's strong endorsement. They like what we're doing. We update them regularly. They were looking at consolidating Belterre before we did. Continuous news flow, rapidly advancing. So 2023, comprehensive field validation program that will include stripping. It's underway as we speak. We're going to finalize the drill hole targets for an aggressive 30,000 meter drill program. Just by numbers, where we're situated, we can drill very cheaply. All in about $170 Canadian. That program will probably cost us somewhere between $5 and $5.5 million. Belterre Lithium also advancing rapidly. 2023 comprehensive field validation program to confirm lithium-bearing pegmatites. If we're successful, we could be drilling for lithium this fall, or we could choose to have a partner with us to defray the costs. Skyfall, it's a greenfield district-scale nickel potential, $2.5 million option with SOCAM. It's already started. We just flew a $700,000 VTEM last month. Results are coming in over the next couple of weeks. We have 2 crews that are going to be on the ground all of June, all of July. We're hopeful that they'll be able to find some good nickel values in their samples. So Ridgeline Investment also provides some other upside if they're successful in their endeavors. Any questions?
I've got one.
Yes, certainly.
You said you just raised, what, $2.5 million?
Correct.
At the end of March. This is going to cost you $5.5 million. Where's the rest of the money going to come from?
2 possibilities. Okay, we're not rushing to go to market for another $5 million right this minute. We're looking at the lithium potential to fund the gold project. And that's one of the reasons Osisko contributed so much money in the past raise at the end of March. They also see the lithium potential at Belterre. And sometimes you got to zig and zag for the sake of your capital structure. We're going to take a chance. We think we got a very strong project on the lithium side, and it could potentially fund a huge amount of drilling for us. If not, we'll go to market in the fall. Osisko's already told us that they'd likely be a lead investor in a next round.
All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.